I had so many friends. They were talking to me like, oh, Caroline, do you have a boyfriend? We all do and everything. Like, I don't need a boyfriend.
Yeah. That's your dad.
Yeah. I don't need a boyfriend because I have my dad. That's already filled by a man.
I have to admit that when I kissed my husband on our wedding day, it was not the first time.
You can't mess up on a kiss. You know exactly where the lips are.
So you guys aren't worried about that either?
No, everyone knows how to kiss.
That's just not true. She's going to find out in her own time. She's going to find out when she kisses her husband. She'll be like, you don't do it as good as daddy.
What I hear from young ladies is there's this need for that physical touch. And from a male being, that's, I believe, the father role is.
It's a Manic Monday, so let's talk about it. Speaker of the House, Moses Mike Johnson, he's a Southern Baptist, Bible-believing Christian is how he identifies. He actually said his worldview is based on the Bible. Does he know what year it is? Does he know that the Bible is just the best-selling book of all time? Outside of Harry Potter 1 through 7, of course. Along with being a Christian, he's also a weirdo. Here's a clip of him talking about how him and his son track each other's porn and phone usage. They're accountability partners.
Then it sends a report to your accountability partner. So my accountability partner right now is Jack, my son, right? And so he's 17. So he and I get a report of all the things that are on our phones or all of our devices once a week. If anything objectionable comes up, your accountability partner gets an immediate notice. I'm proud to tell you my son he's got a clean slate, all right? But we get a report and it says, hey, no activity of concern, and it's really sensitive. It'll pick up almost anything. It looks for keywords, search terms, and also images, and it will send your accountability partner a blurred picture of the image. So on occasion I get one, I was just looking at the one from this week I got on Jack, and it said, this is the only one that may be questionable, and it's this blurred image of two women talking in a live screen thing, and I zoom in and I have to unblur it, and it's two middle-aged teachers.
Along with being a Christian weirdo who watches porn with his son, here's a video of German news segment that featured Mike Johnson and his daughter attending a purity ball. The Germans did a documentary about how fucked up this is, okay? Speaker Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, was the subject of a documentary, and not in a good way. Now, a purity ball is a formal event where daughters pledge to their fathers that they will maintain sexual purity until married. It involves pledges from both sides. Girls will stay pure, and fathers pledge to protect their purity. Girls can be anywhere between 10 and 18 when they do this, but typically target girls just old enough to have their period. This is gross. Sexualizes little girls, and at the same time, stripping them of their right to consent. Now she must stay a virgin until daddy says otherwise? This is the beginning of a porn. I'm sure of it. But that's one thing about religious folks. They always keep sex dirty.
Brautkleidern. Auch dabei Hannah Johnson. Sie legt heute vor ihrem Vater ein Keuschheitsgelübde ab.
Hiermit verspreche ich vor Gott, mir selbst, meiner Familie, meinen Freunden, meinem zukünftigen Ehemann und meinen zukünftigen Kindern, dass ich enthaltsam bin und jungfräulich bleibe.
In einer Reinheitsverpflichtung wird dieses Versprechen sogar schriftlich besiegelt.
Es gibt Jäger und Gejagte. Wir wollen unsere Mädchen so erziehen, damit sie klug genug sind, die Wölfe da draußen zu erkennen und sich von ihnen fernzuhalten.
Hannah ist 13 Jahre, dafür muss sie Opfer bringen.
I also watched a quick little purity ball. It's called Lifting the Veil on Special Ceremony. It's a quick ABC News little short doc they did. Good. Just watch.
Estimated 95% of Americans will have sex before marriage. Tonight, we're taking a look at girls whose families urge a different path. Girls who pledge not to kiss or have sex until they marry. And fathers who pledge to be their daughters' boyfriends until they find them a man worth marrying. So, exactly what are these purity promises? And can they be kept?
Bye, love ya. When you go into middle school, it's like you want to get a boyfriend before you go up to high school, where it's like you need to have a boyfriend in order to be cool.
But Caroline Johnson won't have a boyfriend. Not now, not in high school, not until she's ready to marry. Because already at age 12, she's taken a vow of purity. And it's not just about sex. No dating. Kissing?
No. I just want to make sure my first kiss is with the guy I'm going to be with forever.
Unthinkable for a lot of kids her age, but not for the other kids at her church.
Culture's gonna challenge you really fast. Really quick. What do you mean you're not dating? They're gonna say, well, you're weird.
Caroline's father, Ron, is the pastor. Each of her older siblings has already taken the purity vow.
I want one husband and one husband alone, and I want to have a successful marriage. And so I feel like if you date in high school, it's just setting you up for a divorce or practicing divorce.
I had so many friends. They were talking to me like, oh, Caroline, do you have a boyfriend? We all do and everything. Like, we should like double date or something. It's like, I don't need a boyfriend.
Yeah. That's your dad.
Yeah. I don't need a boyfriend because I have my dad. That's already filled by a man.
And Jesus.
Yeah. And
No. This is fucked, okay? Oh, no. I don't need a boyfriend because I have my dad. Okay, they're not the same thing.
You talk about yourself as your daughter's boyfriend. That's going to have a lot of people, make an awful lot of people uncomfortable. It's way too Freudian. How do you...
See, this is what I find absolutely humorous in our culture today, where something as pure as a daddy going out with his daughter on a date is twisted to make it seem like, as you mentioned, Freudian. I wasn't thinking about Freud at all. I was thinking about having a great time with my daughter. You know, I encourage my...
Yeah, but why are you calling it a date? Like, you don't need to call it a date. Like, I don't get it. It doesn't have, it could be literally have nothing to do with the relationship she's going to have with a different man later down the road. They are not the same. Don't call it a fucking date. Me and my dad never, are we going to have our daughter daddy date? No. You want to go see a movie, kiddo? Like, that's the norm.
My daughters come sit on my lap. We snuggle. We sit by the fireplace. There's absolutely nothing sexual in that whole experience.
But if you talk...
There's nothing sexual in that whole experience, except why the hell then do they have to pledge to maintain sexual purity to you? If you weren't doing the purity ball, then maybe you could call it a daughter daddy date and get away with it. But
talk to adolescent psychiatrists. What they say is the whole point of adolescence is for children to separate from their parents, to become independent, to seek your own kind of path. What do you make of that?
And I hear all that, but I think Jesus was better than Freud. I like his counsel better. Father, we just thank you for allowing our family to be together tonight, Lord. We ask you.
The eldest Wilson sister, Lauren, kept her own vow of purity until she married Aaron, now the youth pastor at their church. Now, had you had a girlfriend before?
I had a girlfriend before.
I wonder, they don't make the boys sign purity like contracts or anything like that. They don't go to purity balls. I wonder if the same rules apply or not. Well, who are we kidding? The rules never apply the same.
Ask, had you had intercourse?
At one point, I was compromised. And I did lose my virginity, and that was something that really shook who I was as a person. I lost sight of things.
He's a big old slut.
2, 3, go! It's become part of my testimony, and I've helped several young people go through this. My story is, hey, if you've done this, there's restoration, and there's a way to be made whole and made new. And if you haven't done this, hey, here's my story. Don't do this. Let me tell you what it's like on the other side.
Do you think you could walk this purity path if it weren't for the church?
I definitely think it'd be really hard because I feel like if I didn't have my friends at church knowing that they are going through the same thing as I am, I feel like I'd feel so alone and I feel like I'd give up.
Side note, kids who wear the purity ring BS and say that they're going to wait till marriage, 4 times more likely to catch an STD. 4 times more likely. You want to know why? Because they'll have oral sex, they'll have anal sex because they don't think that's losing their virginity. That's all.
But as we're about to see, the Johnson girls are not so alone after all. They're headed to Colorado. 14th annual Father-Daughter Purity Ball, where 60 like-minded fathers will pledge to protect their daughters. The event was started by Randy Wilson with his own 5 daughters in mind.
What I hear from young ladies is there's this need for that physical touch. And from a male being, that's, I believe, the father role is.
Randy's daughter, Jordan, is attending with her new husband. She says the first time she ever kissed anyone was a few months ago, in church, on her wedding day.
Okay, I have to admit that when I kissed my husband on my wedding day, it was not the first time. What is it like when it's the first time?
It was just like, I can't believe this is happening. And in front of everyone, it was a little like, okay, you can't mess up on a kiss. You know exactly where the lips are. So you just plan it on it.
But come on, did you worry a little bit? What if we're not compatible? I mean, everybody doesn't kiss the same way.
No.
No, none of that.
Nope, I didn't.
So you guys aren't worried about that either? No. You figure whoever you pick
Man, they didn't worry because they couldn't worry. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a choice.
that's gonna be fine. It'll take care of itself.
Everybody's a great kisser. Come on. Everyone knows how to kiss.
No, that's not true. Not everybody knows how to kiss, okay? I do, but that's just not true. She's gonna find out in her own time. She's gonna find out when she kisses her husband. She'll be like, you don't do it as good as daddy.
Meanwhile, Ron has a special gift for Caroline before they all head to the ball.
I'm ready for you, dear. You look lovely. Well, you are growing up before your daddy's eyes. One of the things that you were talking to Daddy about was, when am I going to get my purity ring? And one of the things that I think is important for us to remember is this is your desire to do it the Lord's way, to really save yourself from kissing lots of toads along the way and wait for your Prince Charming to come along. And he's got to pass through your dad, and Dad's got to put the stamp of approval on him, because dads are really smart and they can separate princes from toads really well. Let me show you the ring that I got for you here. When somebody comes along who is ready and has the proper character and will treat you like a queen, then that's the guy that passes the test. And until then, this is just a reminder keeping yourself pure is important. And so you keep that on your finger, and it's a daily reminder that at this point, you're married to the Lord, and your father is your boyfriend, and we're gonna have fun together. And let me go ahead and give you that.
What? You're married to the Lord. Your father's your boyfriend. We're gonna have a good time. This is the beginning of a porno.
Get ready to dance the night away.
Get ready to dance that. This is a porno. I've seen this one. Debbie goes down on dad.
We decide tonight that we will pour into the hearts of our daughters. We will be the standard for their lives and all their future men. Fathers, will you stand with me? Will you stand together in this accord? Let's take those covenants in the middle of your table. I choose before God to cover my daughter as her authority and protection in the area of purity. I will lead, guide, and pray over my daughters as the high priest in my home. There's a pen in the middle of your paper. Pick that up and sign that. Then have your daughters witness that.
It says on the document, as the high priest in my home. What's that mean?
There is a hierarchy of levels of authority, and we believe in the home the father sits at that place.
I think that there are moments in life that need to be extravagant. This celebrates the strength of the father, his love for the daughter, and it creates one of those moments that she will never have again. This is the night that she will always have with her daddy.
This is a night she should never have to have, okay? Let's be real.
I wonder if there aren't kids who, for one reason or another, couldn't live up to the expectations that you have for your children. What happens to them? They feel they failed in this purity journey.
All life is about redemption. We all mess up, misstep, make mistakes that are bigger than others, but it's all about getting back up and going after it again.
So you wouldn't disown one of your kids if someone came
Oh my
home?
goodness, absolutely not. Oh, absolutely not. I think the best thing we can do is to gather up and walk with.
If my life and what we're sharing with people is so bizarre, why am I so in love with my wife? Why have we had 30 amazing years of marriage? Why do my kids all love one another and love us? You know, I think you have to look at that.
Father, I pray a covering for them. Father, protect them as they go. For each one of these daughters.
That girl looked like she was 7. It's a Manic Monday, so let's talk about it.